Our podcast is a part of the World Podcast Network, now with over 1,000 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise on the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, you can join for free. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing the final part of the tell-all. So there's no hot goss in the beginning. There is going to be some hot goss towards the end of the episode. So we'll save it for that. But the only thing I want to say here in the beginning is announcement. So a couple announcements actually. So the major one, the big one, podcast is on a break from December 11th until the 15th of January. And during that time, you are going to be getting episodes. Those episodes will include coverage of Love Off the Grid, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Owning Manhattan, Married at First Sight, unless otherwise said. What else are we covering? Finishing a Perfect Match. So things like that is going to be coming. I do know that the show for The Ultimatum has come out. It came out yesterday as I record this. We're not going to be covering it. Maybe I will discuss just one broad episode when I'm back. So maybe you'll expect that, but there's not going to be episode by episode coverage of that show. It's just coming out way too late from, when I'm going to be off from the podcast. So it's just not going to happen. So we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, so that's basically that. If you want the full schedule, you can go back and listen to the 500 Days of Bummer episode for The Other Way, which came out a few weeks back now. You can get a full announcement there, as well as you can also head to socials where you can find it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit. Reddit. It is pinned, however, for ease on Facebook and Twitter. So you can find it easy that way. But otherwise, that's after that announcement. The second one, I did mention this in the last episode that I just did. Sister Wives is going to be coming out a little later. We'll try to see if I can get it out Friday night, but I would expect it for Saturday, because we're going to be recording that Friday, Thursday today as I record this. So we're going to be recording that tomorrow, and you'll get it after that. So yeah, that's basically it. Let's get into the reason that we are here. So that's Toe, Season 6, Episode 22, Tell-All Part 2, and the final Tell-All. So, yeah, so again, we just kind of leave off with Corona calling Ingi a punk-ass bitch. And I think it's Sean who says, so Sarper, you spoke to Ingi, right? Can you call him? Find out what's going on? So Sarper goes off to call him, and he's like, you said you were going to come here, talk your mind, what's going on? Basically, Inky's like, I said my piece, so I'm good. But see, that's not how tell-alls work. You should be saying your piece, letting people respond. It creates a conversation. And he's not doing that. And I don't know if it is because he's a punk-ass bitch, or he is being ganged up on by people who he doesn't know, or if he's just so Icelandic, he's like, fuck this. I don't know. So his friend instead is going to come here and fill in for him. It was a weird choice because I'm like, there's nothing he could offer. And we'll kind of get to that because her family says the same. why are you here? You have really nothing to offer. It was this production. It's a friend, like, I'll step in. What is this? So Corona basically tells us, when I came back, I tried to cancel a visa for him. Um, and she says, like, I guess, when he came or something, he thought she was, I guess I'm moving out myself or whatever, but like, she's like, you're human. You're going to go through ups and downs. She's in school. She's probably stressed. And she's like, I guess he just wanted all of the attention. And we talked about it. We were sitting in a park and bitch just gets up and leaves. She's like, I never saw him again until just now. See, that's messed up because if true, which again, I have nothing else to go by besides her word, miss, that is a punk ass move. You don't just up and walk away and never see the person again for whom you're talking about living a life with, potentially getting married to, starting a family with. I don't understand how you just up and tip and go back to Iceland and don't say anything to her. Like that's messed up. So Inky, yeah, it's not coming back. Friend comes in. His name is Gumi. I don't want to say gummy because it's spelled gummy, but I think it's Gumi or something around those lines. Um, he says, Corona did nothing wrong necessarily, um, but she wasn't also showing her real self to him, which is true. She didn't. She's talking about the fact that I pop off, which we haven't seen, by the way, but we see that she keeps telling us she pops off and all of this and whatever. We've never seen it. And I would like to see it. But if that is the reason he's saying, I didn't know the real her, that's fair. That is very fair. And because he's like, maybe he would have figured out ways to get to, to deal with that throughout the duration of the relationship. But again, I'm going to challenge this. I don't know how long she kept sides of herself away from him, but they were only together for less than a year. You're usually on your best behavior for at least the first, I don't know, 3, 4 months, and maybe you'll start to be like, show all of me. You know what I mean? And you need to give that time. You don't just dip. This is not how relationships work. Um, so anyway, so Sarper basically kind of says to her, you were the same, blah, blah, blah. And you have to see things from his perspective. And she says, well, I would have left you, but he left. So, and she says, like, or the friends, someone says, you hoodwinked him or something like that. And she's like, the fuck? Anyway, we bring her family on. Thank God, because they're the only best part of this. Mom says, he's corny. I never liked him. He's corny, she says. She says he never made an attempt to get to know her family the same way she got to know his. Gume kind of says, you get, or sorry, he kind of says like things like, I don't know, right? And her mom is like, you don't know a lot now, do you? Like, I don't know why you're here. And I said, damn, finally, because it's true. I don't know why he was here. Grandma says he was just a wuss, kind of like how he acted with Iron My Piece, I'm out. And Gume says, I think he loved her, which maybe he did. I don't know. But it's just, you don't do what he did to someone that you love. Anyway, I think Corona says, I don't think so. Sarper says, I'm sorry, Inky, but Corona's 100% correct. And that's what happens. If you're not there to defend yourself, well, you lose credibility. Anyway, let's talk Joanne and Sean. So he has his green card now. And guess what, though? Bella doesn't even know he's in the States right now because we're still keeping secrets from our kids. She thinks that he's in England because she would whoop his ass if she knew he was in the States right now without her. And I don't know, maybe I just was raised different. But as a child, you don't get the right to everything. Listen, my mom went to Jamaica without me because I was younger than her technically. But she went to Jamaica without me when I was about 9 years old. And of course, I wanted to go, but I was told no because you do not get to have everything that your parent gets to have or they get to do. And the fact that he is putting his foot down and saying, no, this time you can't come. You will be able to go at some point, but this time you can't come. She has the child has to understand that I'm sorry. Maybe again I was just raised different and today's generation is just different, but it's just you don't get to have everything because you think you're entitled to it. Yeah, nip that in the bud from now. Anyway, so we bring up Donna into the conversation. She's here on video. And she gets, she's my daughter, you know, what I know, we get this, the same thing. And she's like, we know we had no secrets. I don't blame him, she says. She said maybe, because he apparently, and I believe he did say this to Donna, but I'm trying to be like, I could say that. But she says that he told her that he actually wanted to tell Donna, but Joanne is the reason why it never was said. And he says, I didn't do that. But I think he did. I think he did. I think now he's on to say face because, yeah, he doesn't want to throw his wife under the bus. Um, but she's like, I know I tell you everything. And she's like, yeah, Ma, I know. And then Shekinah, out of nowhere, guys, Shekinah says, I get why you didn't tell her because, like, she's a lot. And Donna says, you don't know my relationship with my daughter. And she's like, and she says, or Donna says to Shekinah, you're a mom. And you're just gonna go and fuck off to Turkey without, thinking about your daughter. Well, oh, well, she said it. She's saying what everyone else was thinking. And she kind of like, oh, really? We want to go there now. And it's like, again, she ain't wrong. So she kind of is like, I would never treat my daughter the way you treat yours. You have to earn their respect. And Donna, like my mom, is like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Here's the thing. Here's my stance on it. You you when it comes to kids' relationships with their children, um, the parent-child relationship, I think respect is kind of there. The love is kind of there. And the level of trust with your parent might be different. The level of what you're willing to tell your parent might be different between relationships and whatever. A relationship between a mother or a parent and a child is different. But to say that a child should just, you have to earn their respect as if this is a friend or a relationship or something, like a romantic relationship, no, no. I think the respect goes both ways, yes, but it's not something you earn from a parent to a child and vice versa. Now, can a child lose respect for their parent for whatever reason, if it's mainly for protecting your peace and your mental health and what? Absolutely. Absolutely. But that does not seem to be the case here. And if Shekinah parents in that way, then that is up to her. That is your choice as a parent, but that's not everyone else's journey. And for her to sit here and be like, you need to earn your child's respect, it's like you're giving them the choice. Like saying something like that. Now, I know it's not necessarily what she's saying. but maybe it is, I don't know. But saying something like that is like basically saying, well, your child can be treated like an adult and can do whatever they want to do. And sometimes that just doesn't work. And not every parent feels that way. I have had, people in my life who have parented in that way. Yes, absolutely. And maybe that works for them. That wasn't my life. I can tell you that right now. But it's just you have to kind of you have to parent your child. You're not their friend. You have to be a parent first. The friendship is second. And I feel like maybe she kind of parents as if, oh, I have to be her friend first and her parent second, or they're equal and they're not. You need that stability. A child really truly needs that stability from their parent. That's maybe I'm going a little deeper with what she said, but that's kind of where it went for me. But anyway, she kind of says, like, you got a big mouth and you say too much. And I said, bitch. And the entire time, Joanne is sitting there saying not a damn thing. And I said, not me, not I. I am not going to sit there and let some person who I don't fucking know and who my mother doesn't know, some stranger, talk to my mom the way that she's talking to Donna right now. Oh, gloves would have been off. And I have done that. My mom can sometimes, speak her mind. It's a family trait. My grandfather has been able to speak his mind. My mom kind of got that from him, so it's trickled down. And I'm not a confrontational person, but when someone comes for my mom, oh, bitch, you best believe I'm throwing hands if I need to. And Joanne's just sitting there, and it irked me in so many ways. I literally said while watching the episode, she's just sitting there. She's not saying anything. No, but instead, Corona, the other black girl in the room, is like, you're gonna let her talk to your mom this way? Like, I would never let anyone talk to my mom that way. And Shekinah's like, oh, but she came from my parenting. And Corona says straight up, but she did after you came for hers. So, of course, if you can't dish it or you can handle it, then don't dish it. Point blank. Period. Like, it's true. And why did Corona have to be the one to step in? So, Joanne eventually kind of says, listen, I hear kind of what you kind of is saying. Do I have a good relationship with my mom? Do I tell my mom everything? Yes, that part is true. And she says, but I think the reason why I went about things the way I did is because the family will have things they're going to say. And honestly, I just didn't want to I didn't want to hear it. I knew I was going to marry this man. That's it. Okay. And that's fine. I'm not going to question you on that. I think, whatever, you want to marry him, you want to marry him. But, it was, yeah. So I understand that. But it's more about holding on to it and not saying anything for 2 years. That's the problem. Not saying anything to your kids either. Um, and at this point, she kind of says, I'm sorry, Joanne, I didn't mean to come for your mom that way. Yes, you did, bitch. Don't backpedal now because Joanne's literally like, okay, yeah, yes, but yes to my mom too. Don't backpedal me like, I'm sorry. You know what you did. You came for her mom, which was disrespectful. You came for her mom, and now you want to apologize for it? Get out of here. Anyway, so, she says, I just got triggered, which again, I can understand her being triggered, and says that she sees a lot of her mom and Donna. But your journeys through childhood and your journeys through the relationship with your parents are very different. And I think a lot of it for Shekinah comes from probably religious trauma. And with being in the Amish. So she kind of needs to realize there's a little bit of stark difference between what she went through versus maybe what Joanne's been going through. So, I mean, maybe there is partial religious trauma. Italians are very religious people, but I don't know if it's necessarily that or it's more about Italians are also very overbearing in their parenting sometimes, or at least we can kind of see that with Donna. But it's just very different, I think. Anyway, Joanne says that she does not regret not telling, sorry, back up. Joanne does regret not telling the kids. They think they should have maybe said something to the kids a lot sooner. But she says she still wouldn't have told them before, but she just would have told them sooner. Donna says, I wanted to, celebrate them. I wish she would have just told me. I wouldn't have been, you know, upset or anything like that. And Joanne's like, excuse me, you, you, which I also agree with. Um, but Joanne tells us that he would have, sorry, back up. I'm going a little further here. She says her father still doesn't know that she's married. And we're like, wait, what? So she says that, with her mom, it's very different. Her mom would have been in your face, but then been okay. Where her dad would have internalized it, maybe prayed on it. And she gets very emotional about this. And Donna's like, oh, your daddy's a little girl. So I think there's, a little bit of that. She's like, I am going to tell him, but it has to be between us. No one else can be involved. She's like, no, my mom will get past it, but he's a Christian man. I have to give him that respect. Girl, it's been, what, 3 years? But we're all like, so Donna, like, where is he? Like, is he nearby listening to all of this? And she said, oh, he's in that room with the dogs. And Donna says, it's not my secret to tell. She's not going to tell him because the thing is like, won't he get upset that Donna knew all of this? Like, everyone knew except for him. And yeah, he's probably going to be very upset when he finds out about that. But Donna says, it's not for me to say. That's for her to say. So, but that's it for them. Bye, Donna. I hope, honestly, I would love to see Donna again. So we'll be on break. And she said, well, that's Donna. And she's like, she was nice to Sean, and put it all on me. She's like, that's fine. I'll take it. But Sarper says, Donna's tongue has no bone. Apparently this is a Turkishism and I don't get it. Anyways, here comes the butter again because the hunger and they kind of say that it apparently increases libido. Apparently he will eat a stick of butter and then he just ready to go. And she's like, yeah, but he's kind of always ready to go. He doesn't need anything. He's like a maniac. So Corona and James end up getting their own stick of butter to try. James took a huge ass bite of it and he's like, it's not bad. It's like butter ice cream. And I said, what? Butter ice cream? Sir? What? And then when the kids are talking about the whole libido situation, he's like, good luck to Tatha. And I said, Jesus Christ. Corona takes a more smaller bite and she's like, yep, that's a no for me, dog. On the butter. Like she's like, no, not for me. We go back on set and we now talk more Sarper and Shekinah again. Sean fills Shekinah in on the text messages between him and Dee Dee. And we get another text chain that we didn't see before with Sarper in a Speedo. And he kind of says, oh, Dee Dee isn't the only one who got that picture. He basically took the pictures out I look good and then sent it to everybody. Sent it to the 2500 as like a group chat or something. I don't know. And and then like the text messages basically are just like, I was just talking about you, sexy thing. This was from Dee Dee. And then like him asking, oh, when will you come? Like they're trying to set up another meeting, y'all. What? And Shekinah says, fuck boy. She calls him a fuck boy. But again, Shekinah, I'm sorry. You knew this. You met him in the same way and he was going to treat you the same way. Don't say he fucked two other women the same day he fucked you. And you're surprised? Come on. Okay. But this was all before he met her, so like you can't be mad about it. He says, I took that pic and sent it to everyone else, and I said that already. But let's see if you still have that body taken off, stripped for us. And she kind of like, how about we leave his clothes on? Thank you. Man, we've all seen him topless. We've all seen him topless. We've seen him do strip teases one too many times. We've all seen this. Like, don't act like we all haven't seen it. But now you want to act all holier than thou and just keep a shirt on? Ma'am. Anyway, Sarper says whatever she says because he needs to keep the peace. And he apparently sent her a sexy picture the same night they met, like basically as a constellation prize of a thank you for the nice time. James asks, what made you have that kind of disconnect between love and sex? We already know the answer to this. It was he got heartbroken, and when he was 14, his dad told him these bitches ain't loyal, and he just, I had an unhealthy relationship between love and sex. And he's like, but now I am loyal to you like a puppy. Oh, and he also wanted to ask Dee Dee to be his therapist because she knows him. And he's like, she's like, well, no, you can't have a therapist whom you've had sex with. And he says, well, you never said that before. Didn't think I needed to. That's a conflict of interest. I'm sorry. I think one of the things are if I've seen you naked, I can't be your therapist, you know? Anyway, so Shekinah basically says, what if I did that? Don't make me imagine it. But I will, she says, I will make you imagine it. Um, and he's just like, no. So let's talk about her nose. Let's just get through this. I created it. He says she's my creation. And that felt gross. But it's Harper, so it actually was kind of funny at the same time. But if anyone else said that, it would have been so gross. So Sean basically asks, like, Harper, is there anything else that you'd want her to change? And he says, no. Um, he says, sometimes I say, I took her from garbage. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Well, which way? Because if someone says, I took thee from garbage, what is that? What is that supposed to say? Anyway, she says that I took out my fillers from my lips. Or actually before we say what he says like she had too much fillers. She wanted to gain weight, like crazy things. Um, and she says, yeah, he made me dissolve all of my fillers except for my lips. And Corona, like I was like, no. Like she's laughing. And she is like, nah, you did. But I think they're still dissolving. And she says, I think I look softer. And they do like they do a side by side. She does not look softer. This girl still had something done. I don't know what, but they're not dissolved. Can tell you that. Or she's lying to him. Something's up. Um, so on the day of the wedding, they're going to be actually getting tattoos, y'all. He's getting her lips on his neck, and she's going to have his name on her neck. That that is not a good idea. And everyone's like, that's not a good idea. Joanne even says, anyone I know who's done like couple tattoos never actually work out. And she says, like, I'm not going to manifest that. I believe in manifestation. So like I'm not gonna manifest it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be fine. And Sarper, which I believe him, is just like, I told her not to. I didn't want her to. She's doing it because she wants to, which I believe. I think it's stupid. I think it's a stupid thing to do. But anyway, so then we get like this never before seen footage. I'm not sure when this was filmed of her eating this Turkish, I don't know if it's necessarily a delicacy or just food. I don't know exactly what it was called, but it is shaped like a penis. And we see him eating this penis shaped thing from the tip. And it's actually not a penis. It's I think he said a part between the stomach and the intestine. So he said that this little piece there that from the animal or whatever, and you eat it. He says it's good, whatever. Anyways, let's go back to James and Tata because why not? He had to get all of his female friends out of his life. He's not allowed to have any female friends. And personally, I think it's messed up. Like, with what we're about to hear, I maybe understand, but it's either you trust him or you don't. And if you don't, then you don't stay in the relationship. But I don't, do I think that a man should be talking to another woman about everything going on in their relationship? No. And I think the same thing women shouldn't be talking to men about their relationship or going into the details and stuff like that. Unless you're really, really close and it's always been platonic. Um, but it's just I think like you really should be trusting your person enough to know that they are not going to step out in that way. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. It's just anyways. Then Sean says Tata has accused James of actually cheating. We're gonna get to the gist of the cheating here in a minute. She apparently talked to her sister. Believe her name is DJ, right? But about this, we get the never before scene. Basically, she explains that he was watching women dancing in bikinis or something. Um, she claims that as cheating. I think there are boundaries that can be crossed. And if that is a boundary that you are like, this shouldn't be crossed, or you shouldn't be following these people on Instagram, which I don't think you should be doing stuff like that, because now you're kind of engaging. Um, like there's certain things that shouldn't be crossed, but to say that that's cheating, it's not cheating. And everyone in that room was like, that's not cheating. It's not. I'm sorry. Come at me if you think it's cheating, but I don't classify that as cheating. I think cheating could be crossing, like actually interacting with someone, wanting to, and not someone like on OnlyFans or like, or something like that, or cam girls, because they're doing the job. They're doing the job. But could cheating doesn't have to be both sides. It could be one sided. Absolutely. So I think it can be something like that. Emotionally cheating, creating an emotional relationship with someone behind your person's back, obviously physically, sexual, that stuff is cheating. Him watching women dancing in bikinis, goddamn, then my boyfriend cheated on me too. Like it's just, it's, it's ridiculous. So Tata says, yeah, but you're following them. So that's where the line has been crossed. I would agree because now there's the potential of you interacting with this person in your DMs, and that's a problem. That I kind of understand. And she says, you know, you watch them when you poop, which she says that's kind of the only time he has to do anything. which again, the reason he's doing that is because he's trying to create privacy for himself and also hiding it, which isn't great. Because if you know it bothers her, then maybe don't do it. But it is, I don't know. So Cronus says it's not cheating, but maybe he's overstepped boundaries, which, yes, you have to understand that there is a difference between crossing boundaries that you have placed in your relationship versus cheating. So, but he kind of says, I follow them because they dance with bikinis on. Okay, that's a little messed up. Like, don't follow them, blah, blah, whatever. He says, I deleted the account. She has my passwords. And Sarper says, that's fucked. That's not going to be me. Because I think what he's basically saying is that you should be able to have some autonomy. And you shouldn't be, there should, just because you're in a relationship with someone does not mean you deserve to have their passwords to their socials, passwords to their phone. You will go through their phone. It's toxic. It's not good. Like I said, I've said, I have the password to my ex-husband's phone. Not because I was going through his phone, never went through his phone, but because my data would die out and I needed data and he had data. So yeah, but there was a trust that I am not going through his phone in those moments. We established that trust. But, uh, and he had the passwords to my phone too, but we weren't going through each other's phone. So it's just, you know, that's kind of what I think Sarper's trying to say. There should be, everyone's entitled to their privacy. Um, so he basically says, you give them a finger, they want the hand, then they want the arm. They want their whole body. And Shekinah's like, that's how it should be. Okay. And he explains, like, when I'm looking, Sarper saying, that's when I'm looking. It's not, I think Sarper said this. Maybe it was James. I don't remember. But one of the two. It's not about you're not looking at the person, you're just looking at the cards. It was Sarper. Sarper said it. You're just looking at the parts, not the actual woman. And Shekinah's like, so you're objectifying women. Yeah, bruh. Yeah. Do you think that men don't objectify, haven't objectified since the caveman days? Yeah. Yeah. And then again, I'm going to say this, women don't objectify men. We do. Let's be real. You know, I'm over here objectifying Sean. Like, yes, this is the reality. This isn't some fairy tale. This is not Disney. Anyway, so they'll be going back to Indonesia in maybe 6 months from now. Um, After they've kind of dealt with the money issues that he's acquired since the car. So then we go on break. Tata does not let him watch porn, which, okay, whatever. I mean, again, I think very differently, but she says that he can watch it with me, but is not alone. But what's the difference, ma'am? What's the difference between him watching it with you versus watching it with someone else? Or watching it, sorry, not with someone else, but just watching him alone. What's the difference? Because she's thinking, oh, he's going to be picturing me or picturing what we could do together and not thinking about the person who's in the video. No, he's going to be thinking about the person in the video while he's with you. Like, we're all guilty of thinking about other people sometimes during sex with your partner. Come on, don't lie to me. But it, it it's not going to change because he's not watching porn or he's watching it with you or whatever. Stupid. Anyway, um, but he's never heard this before. He's like, what? He's like, you never told me this before. She's like, well, you never asked. And I'm like, Jesus. Um, do people not talk about sex with their partners, really? But he did ask her, like, what's the difference between together or alone? And he's like, what are you picturing? And she's like, well, maybe we can do something better. He's like, I like it. I like it. So he's all for it, but yeah. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break here. And when we come back, we will finish up. I think we only have Josh and Lily left. And yeah, then we will be done. But I will be back. And I am back. So let's finish this episode up. We go into Josh and Lily. Then we go back on set, and Jared is here. And y'all, Lily is so happy. My girl is having buyer's remorse. She's over here just smiling and waving when she sees Jared. Josh wasn't getting any of that. And Jared says that Lily, I think she doesn't mean to talk about money all the time, like, but she does, which obviously bothers him, which I think is valid. Um, then we bring on Vivian, the gift that keeps on giving, Vivian. And Vivian is like, I still don't think that this is gonna work. And she's like, I have one question for you, okay? So you had sex with my mom 3 or 4 or 5 times. If you love a woman, why didn't you fuck her? Y'all, why didn't you? The amount of times that this girl says, why don't you fuck my mom? It killed me. It killed me. And she's like, I don't understand. Is, is there an issue with your penis? Why don't you fuck my mom? So the thing is I think that's actually a really valid question. Either this guy has low T or something else going on, because he is not attracted. He's not attracted to Lily. Like I said to Letitia on the Sister Wives episode, 3 or 4 or 5 times. I did that in the first day with my ex. I did that in the first like couple weeks with my current relationship. And it's just, I don't understand. I don't. I'm with her. So we come back and he says that I want it to be more, you know, emotional, not angry. But isn't anger an emotion? Or feeling upset at an emotion? It's an emotion, and you can use that emotion to work wonders. Like that shouldn't happen all the time, obviously. But once in a while, my God. You know what I mean? And Corona says, like, why does it have to be this storybook situation, braiding each other's hair? Which is true. Life isn't a fairy tale. Life isn't falling in love with a prince and then having the sea witch turn your legs or your fin or your what? Tail to legs, and then having said prince fall in love with you. You know? This is not realistic. You don't lose a glass slipper and hope that the man comes and finds you. This isn't what this is. You don't, hope someone comes and finds you when you're living with 7 other men, and you eat an apple that's poisonous and then you fall asleep. Like, this isn't. I'm done. I'm not naming storybooks, but like this isn't it. And that's just not real life. Sometimes you're angry and you use that emotion to have a higher work situation. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, um, James was like, what about a quickie? Get in there, bang it out, and you're done in like however long a quickie means to you. You know? Exactly. Just something. Something. Um, Vivian says There's just no excuse. If you want to fuck a woman, I'm using her words, y'all, then you will. And Vivian, and again, agreed. You should just want to be all over each other. It doesn't make sense. So Vivian says, I'm surprised that you're still in this relationship speaking to our mom because I got a text from my mom saying that they are getting a divorce just a few days ago. And we're like, what? So what are we doing here? No wonder my girl said 3. So Lily says, I have said that. And she says he still has told me I didn't care about your feelings. Now, I do understand kind of what he was saying, though, although I don't think it's as cookie cutter as he's trying to make it seem. But he says, like, the reason he said that, or said more like, I don't care what you have to say. I don't care what you are feeling because you said you want a divorce. That's what he's saying. But I don't think it's as cookie cutter as that. I think there is some truth, and it's somewhere in the middle between these two. But they kind of say maybe she's saying that to you because she needs attention. Now, that's toxic behavior though. But we're human and it happens. Sometimes you may say things, do things because you're seeking the attention or the validation that you're not getting. And you're basically screaming out for help in a sense. So I think that's definitely possible. And he says that she always says that though, and whatever. But again, because y'all only had sex 3, 4, 5 times. Um, and apparently there seems to be no other types of intimacy in your marriage. Like it's weird. Anyway, so he said that he basically started looking for an attorney or speaking to an attorney. Don't know exactly where he's at with that. And apparently she tells us this story, which is so weird. But again, I think it's true. Is she apparently he apparently got mad at her when they were in America, someone's birthday party or something, and he got mad at her for holding his hand too tight and basically kicked her out of wherever they were staying. Now that seems absolutely outlandish. Who does that? But I believe he did, personally. He says that she's lying, which I don't think. Maybe she blew it out of proportion, but I think there's a truth. Crona's like, why are you still together? Because neither of you are saying how much you love each other or how happy you are with each other or you can't get enough of each other. Like, there's no positivity coming between the two of you about the other. So why are you in this? Which, fair question. Sean, where are you at? Because that's a good question, Crona. And she's basically says, like, it doesn't look like you guys like each other, which they don't. And Jared says that he thinks they should stay together. I think mainly because he's had too many fuck ups and they don't want another. And someone says, or Vivian says, I don't think he loves her, which I kind of agree. She's like, you don't fuck my mom. We had to get another one there. And I think he just kind of wants this Asian wife. It doesn't matter who that is, what that looks like. He kind of just wants to have this placeholder of an Asian wife, which feels gross, honestly. But that is basically it. It's the end of the tell-all. Producer asks Lily if she still wants to be with him. She says that she wants to keep trying, but she has no idea how to kind of move forward with him. Basically then producer says says to Josh that she wants to talk to you. And basically they do this weird making up session. It just feels disingenuous. It really does. I think she really does want to be with him or make this work because I don't think she wants another failed marriage. But I think it feels so disingenuous on his part. then I'm just like, ugh. I, we'll get to that in a minute. Um, but she says, like, I want my husband to take care of me. He says, being with you makes me happy, even if I'm not smiling. But then aren't you just miserable? Like, not saying you have to smile, but like you should be able to be at peace, content, whatever. If you're not at peace or you're not content in your marriage and your relationship, then that's not being happy, that's being miserable. She says, let's go for it. And I love you so much. And he hugs the screen and it was weird. Anyways, basically, then Sean tells Josh, you need to have more sex. And y'all, he's not gonna have more sex because he's not attracted to her. Like, again, I don't understand a person who hasn't had sex with his significant other in months, goes to China and doesn't have sex. I make it make sense, y'all, because I don't get it. But that is the end of the tell-all. Now, I did promise a hot goss at the end here, and we're at the end. And here it is. This is from Lily. This was on her Instagram. I'll post this. And here's what it says. Hello, everyone. Let me introduce you. These photos, which I think I did see some of the photos, but you can go onto her Instagram if you want to see it. These photos were taken by my husband when he lived in China. From now on, he is my ex, and I want to start deleting many beautiful photos of us together on my phone. I really don't want to delete many photos. Such sadness. Thank you, Mr. Josh, for intruding into my once beautiful life. Thank you for shattering all of my beautiful dreams. Thank you for breaking my heart. I don't know how long it will take to recover. Thank you for letting me know that there is another non-human group in our world. Ooh. Thank you for letting me know that kindness cannot be given to others casually because some people never know gratitude, never know what love is. Hashtag 90 Day Fiance the other way. Hashtag 90 Day Lily. Hashtag 90 Day Fiance. Hashtag 90 Day. Hashtag TLC. Hashtag You're Losing Me. Hashtag X. Yikes. But you know what? Good for her. This was never going to work. And she deserves so much better than that man. And she's going to find it. And he lost out. This woman built a house for you with elevator and elevator music. And you couldn't even just put your dipstick in that. Come on. Anyways, that is it for the tell-all. That is it for this episode. Overall thoughts of this season, like I said, it wasn't one of my favorite seasons. It was not that good. Overall, but the tell-alls were good. I enjoyed it. Sarper delivered. We're going to see Sarper again and Shekinah. We're going to see them in 90 Day. So, yeah. But that's basically that. Next thing you guys can start to get is we're doing another B90 roundup. We're going to be doing 3 episodes in that B90 roundup. So either you're going to get that first or you're going to get Sister Wives. We'll figure this out. But you're going to be getting that. But yeah, that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there. And you can find me there at www.realityt times two, all spelled out, dot podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you can go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.